On October 2nd, 1947, the spotlight of Hollywood turned into the glare of a congressional hearing room. Instead of cameras rolling on studio sets, they flashed inside the halls of Congress. Actors, directors, and screenwriters sat before lawmakers, accused of spreading communist ideas through the silver screen. The question was simple but lethal.
Are you now or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party?
It was not just a question, it was a verdict. The House Un-American Activities Committee, HUAC, had chosen Hollywood as its stage. 10 men, writers and directors, refused to cooperate. They became the Hollywood 10. John Howard Lawson, one of the Hollywood 10, clashed directly with the committee.
Are you now or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party?
It is a matter of public record. I am not here to discuss my political beliefs.
You are refusing to answer.
I am refusing to bow to this committee's invasion of conscience.
That defiance made him a criminal. Lawson and the others were convicted of contempt, fined, blacklisted, even jailed. Dalton Trumbo, another of the 10, later described the moment.
The room was packed with cameras, lights, reporters, and in that silence, I understood I had not been called to speak, but to be condemned.
The blacklist spread quickly. Studios refused to hire anyone suspected of communist ties. Some writers continued under pseudonyms. Trumbo himself won an Oscar under a false name, but the cost was years of secrecy and humiliation. Hollywood was only the beginning. The Cold War was tightening its grip. The Soviet Union had tested an atomic bomb. Mao's revolution had triumphed in China. Americans were told the enemy was not just abroad, it was here at home. Fear seeped into schools, libraries, and workplaces. Teachers were forced to sign loyalty oaths. One California oath demanded, "I am not now, nor have I ever been, a member of any organization advocating the overthrow of the United States government by force. Refuse to sign and you were fired." A schoolteacher in Illinois wrote to her senator in desperation.
For 23 years, I have taught American history. I have never joined the party, yet I live in terror that one angry parent, one rumor, may brand me a communist and end my career.
Librarians quietly removed books by authors with even the faintest link to leftist politics. Union leaders were investigated. Scientists lost jobs. Arthur Miller, who lived through the era, confided in his diary.
The fear was not simply of communism, but of each other. Who would speak, who would be silent, and who would betray?
The hysteria even reached grieving families. In 1953, a war widow from Ohio wrote to the White House.
My husband died in Korea fighting communism. Yet now I am told my job at the post office is in jeopardy because my brother once joined a leftist book club. Must I lose everything for the mistakes of another?
In homes across America, lives unraveled quietly. One son later wrote bitterly in his journal.
They did not kill my father with bullets, but with suspicion.
The man who gave his name to the era was Senator Joseph McCarthy. In 1950, standing before a crowd in Wheeling, West Virginia, he declared,
I have here in my hand a list of 205 members of the Communist Party still shaping policy in the State Department.
A number changed constantly. The list was never produced, but the headlines screamed louder than the facts. Letters poured into Washington. Some praised McCarthy, others begged for sanity. One Kansas farmer wrote to his congressman,
I do not care if my milkman is a communist. I care if he delivers the milk. Must we live in constant fear of phantoms?
But phantoms were McCarthy's lifeblood. The hearings descended into absurdity. In one exchange, a young actor admitted he had read Karl Marx in college. The chairman cut him off.
I read many books in school.
This committee is not interested in academic discussions. The question is loyalty.
Another witness, a union organizer, refused to betray his colleagues. The prosecutor snapped.
Then you leave us no choice but to assume your guilt.
Accusation was evidence. Silence was confession. Yet, amid the fear, some voices refused to bend. Playwright Lillian Hellman, summoned in 1952, wrote to the committee.
To hurt innocent people whom I knew many years ago to protect myself, I cannot and will not cut my conscience to fit this year's fashions.
Her refusal cost her dearly, but her words endure as one of the era's strongest moral stands. Others resisted in quieter ways. Parents refused loyalty oaths. A college student recorded in her diary.
I know I should say what they want, but I will not sell my conscience for a diploma.
Courage flickered, even in the darkest moments. The turning point came in 1954 during the Army McCarthy hearings. For the first time, Americans could watch live on television. When McCarthy tried to smear a young Army lawyer, Joseph Welch, counsel for the Army finally snapped.
Have you no sense of decency, sir, at long last? Have you left no sense of decency?
The words rang out across the nation. For the first time, McCarthy looked small, mean, and desperate. The spell broke. His popularity plummeted. The Senate censured him. Within 3 years, he was dead. But the wreckage remained. The Hollywood 10 carried scars for life. Teachers never returned to classrooms. Families broken by suspicion were never whole again. Arthur Miller transformed the fear into art. His play The Crucible, written as the hysteria still burned, told of Salem's witch trials. But everyone understood its message. Accusation had become guilt. In 1692 and in 1952. The documents and diaries of the time reveal not just political theater, but personal despair. Teachers writing in fear, widows begging for mercy, students refusing to betray their conscience. They remind us McCarthyism was never simply about communism. It was about fear, about power, about how fragile democracy becomes when suspicion is treated as proof. History doesn't repeat word for word, but its rhythm lingers. Whenever accusation becomes proof, whenever silence becomes confession, democracy trembles. The shadow of October 2, 1947, is not locked in the past. It stretches forward, reminding us how fragile freedom can be. The question that shattered lives still echoes, disguised but familiar.
Are you now, or have you ever been?
Are you loyal? Are you safe? Are you one of us? The names change, the targets change, but the fear behind them rarely does. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel, where we will bring you a new story each week.